Good morning, folks. You're tuned to Car Connection in the Car Connection Workshop, where the coffee's strong, the stories are real, and the wrenches never stop turning. I'm your host, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you from the Car Connection Workshop, where the smell of fresh oil and a little elbow grease is all part of our balanced breakfast. And around here, we don't just talk cars, we live them. Whether it's a 25-year-old Jeep Wrangler getting a second chance at life, a Nissan Rogue getting its brakes back in order, or a mystery leak that's got everyone here scratching their heads. This is where we roll up our sleeves and get it done with a little wit, a little wisdom, and a whole lot of fun. The Car Connection isn't just about nuts, bolts, and diagnostics. It's about connection. Connection to our vehicles, to the people who drive them, and to the community that keeps Niagara rolling. Because when you fix a car, you're not just turning a wrench, you're restoring someone's confidence, freedom, and maybe, just maybe, even their sanity. We're here every week, Monday to Saturday, for you with the Motormouth Morning Drive, 8 a.m., helping you keep your ride safe, reliable, and ready for whatever road lies ahead. So whether you're a weekend wrencher, a daily commuter, or someone who just wants to understand what that strange rattle really means. So welcome aboard. Stick around for shop talk, expert advice, a few good laughs, and maybe a story or two. A story or two. Yes, let's shift the gears. Let's get rolling. I got a ton of stuff to get through with you this morning. Yesterday, program, we talked about premium fuel. Is it worth it? Yeah. Anybody know what a MAF is? M-A-F? Put it in the comments. You know, when you sign up for our YouTube channel so that you learn lots of stuff so you don't get ripped off. Just remember, everything we talk about lives at our website. It's the biggest drawer in our toolbox. And I always reference it in all the descriptions, whether it's a YouTube video or it's here on our iHeart podcast, Motormouth's 8 a.m. Morning Drive. That's where you'll find all the links that you need to follow us. That's where you'll find our program partners and sponsors. Just click on their logo. It opens. You can learn who they are and connect. And thank you for doing that. Thank you for giving them your business. They're there to help you. They're not there to work for free, but I'll tell you, they'll work their tail off for you. They absolutely will. So what are we into today? Well, before we get in too deep, I think we should have a swiggy, don't you? Yeah, here's how we do it. If you're joining us for the very first time, we can't cram you all in here to the workshop, but it would be fun, certainly giving it a go. That's for sure. So raise your favorite morning beverage. We count it down, 3, 2, 1, and have a swiggy together. Let's get that done right away because that is important around here in the Car Connection Workshop. 3, 2, 1. I could go for one of these in both hands. What do you say? So if you're heading through the drive-thru this morning, double check your order, lock it down tight in the cup holder, and join us. Pass the 16-pack of Crayola crayons over to your passenger. Give them the folded-up leaf bag that looks like a laptop to take some notes on it, and let's get started. Car Connections brought to you by City Auto Sales and Leasing, the GTA's premier pre-owned auto store. That's Greater Toronto Area for those that are listening somewhere north, south, east, and west on this rock we're spinning on. Low mileage, high quality vehicles at fair prices. They have leasing as well as in-house financing available for you. They do carry a large inventory of pre-owned vehicles in-house and outside on the lot. But if they don't have what you're looking for, don't panic. They've got 20 plus years of experience and resources to locate that special vehicle that you may be looking for. So let Earl Louise Grant do that legwork for you, and I'll tell you, a new family is waiting for you there. You will not buy a vehicle anywhere else if it's pre-owned. Once you've been to City Auto Sales and Leasing, you'll want to go back. You can buy with confidence and be treated with nothing less than honesty and integrity. Thank you to our certified financial planning professionals, my brothers from other mothers, Tony Miele and Larry Tetro, combined have 50 years experience as fiduciaries. They work with IG Wealth Management, one of the major corporations in the entire planet. I think they own just about everything and everybody else's money, but they know how to make you money. So if you have a portfolio somewhere, it's pulled over and parked, you're up to your eyeballs in debt, you can't see yourself through it, round it, under it, or over it. Estate planning, you got a checkbook and a bank account and children and a couple of cars and some toys and whatnot. You need powers of attorney and you need an estate plan ASAP. Mortgages. I have had a mortgage with IG Wealth now for over 20 years. I wouldn't think of going anywhere else. They treat you amazingly well at very good interest rates. And there's more. Life insurance, critical illness insurance, and you can get a discovery meeting we've nicknamed since 2007, the hour in the coffee. No sales gimmicks, no poking you in the chest, no condemnation, just sitting down, having a chat, putting all the cards on the table that you got going on so that either Tony or Larry, whoever you choose to work with, has all the information they need to help you. And I'll tell you what, you will begin to sleep much better. And also, those intense moments of fellowship with Mama will definitely slow down. But here's one thing you will say. We should have done this sooner. So nobody's selling you anything. These guys don't need any more clients. They've been in the industry for a long time. They're promised to me in July of 2007 when we brought them into the Car Connection Workshop for one real reason, to help you budget to fix your car and keep it going long life. Because when it's paid for, that's the best car in the driveway. Yes, it's not maintenance free, but show me something that isn't. Brand new cars have problems. How do we know that? Because it comes with a warranty and a parts department. So we got to get past that. You know what? You can own and operate an older automobile, and it can be reliable, it can be safe, it can be sturdy, and every time you turn the key, you're not in partnership with the bank paying interest, paying a loan. You're making money. You're making money. But for those of you who have big pockets of money and wheelbarrows full stuffed in the garden shed, that extra stuff, that's okay. If you're able to get a new vehicle every few years and that's what you're happy with, then you just keep doing that. As for me and my house, you know what? I've done that. I've played that game, the never, never plan. And after you start working with a financial planner, you start looking at money and how it works for you and how you can get it working hard for you and understanding it more and more. You look at things in a totally different mindset. So what I've learned now, I wish I knew then, because things would be different. Hello? So check in with them. I know that's a long intro, but you know what? That's a heavy duty area. Finances and automobiles, finances and buying a home, finances and taking care of your health. It kind of works all together. They say money isn't everything. No, but when you have it, it gives you the giggles, right? That's what I'm hoping to experience. Gives you the giggles because you know why? You can help others. Right. Yeah, so money isn't everything, but it pretty much ranks up there with oxygen, doesn't it? Well, let's jump into this morning's topic. Rolls in from yesterday. It's kind of a sequel, so I wasn't going to, but then I thought, you really ought to know more and more about the dangers of ethanol fuel, what it's really doing to your engine. You got to have that understanding. So today is Series 1, Episode 65 in the bank. Visit our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. That's the biggest drawer in our toolbox. Again, our program partners are all on the page. Click their logo, open. You can visit them and connect. And again, thank you for doing that. All our links and where you can follow us, like, share, follow, ring the bell, and subscribe. Watch the videos. Why? Because you're going to learn 5 things every single time. So whatever age group, whatever size you are, whatever type of human being you are, the videos are designed just for you. Whether you don't know the difference between a wheel disc and a hubcap and the turn signal lever, which some people just, I don't think their cars have one. Yeah, I've noticed that on the road. Not many cars have signals anymore. Yeah. Have you noticed that? Yeah. So our videos are designed to teach you where the part is, where the part is, how it works, what happens when it breaks, and what could you have known and understand about the basic fundamentals of vehicle ownership? Lots. A lot. So when you know stuff, then you're educated. So what does that do for you, ladies and fellas? Reduces the opportunity to be taken advantage of at the service counter. Because not a month goes by without an email saying, "Now, can you check this for me? Motormouth, can you check this up for me? I think I got ripped off." And I usually say, "Why didn't you check in with me before you go there?" It's like buying a used car. "Hey, look what I got." "Yeah, it's got problems." "How do you know?" "Well, let's have a walk around it. This, that, and let's open the hood." "Well, I bought it." "Well, why didn't you bring it to me before you bought it so I could tell you all this?" Then you'd be able to negotiate a purchase price. "All this needs to be done. Here's what I'll offer you." Anyhow, it's not that we fail to plan. It's that we plan to fail. Yeah. And some of you might just said that's backwards. No, not really. It really isn't. We plan to fail because we do stuff that we know we shouldn't do, but we do it anyway. So subscribe, like and subscribe, share, follow, do the whole package, ring the bell so you're notified when new videos go up. We put 3 videos up every single week. I think we're approaching 150 now, and they're all there. We're not building monster trucks, supercars. We do build a muscle car once in a while, and our hope is once our channel is monetized, our YouTube channel, and then we get some monetization going over here on our podcast, that'll help us to build a muscle car, group of us, and offer that up as a draw with the proceeds going to a local nonprofit faith-based organization in our area. We'll take out the net profit, which is the cost to build it, so we have the funds to do another one for the next year. So that's part of our vision. Our other part of our vision is to be able to help widows and orphans, single moms, maybe a family that's, hit some rough spots. And, they have to drive an older car, and they got to keep that baby going, and they understand the value of that older car because they don't have the money to throw down. We want to help them. We want to be able to fix their vehicles, pay for the parts, and provide the labor, and shoot some videos to help you learn some of the basics. Because once you know the basics, it doesn't matter how old the vehicle is. The core basics of an automobile haven't changed for decades. It's just how those things work now versus then has changed. So the components, that's all that's happened. The components. The wheels are still round and black, folks. The cars still have fenders and paint. They still have wipers and heaters and air conditioning and doors and locks and seats. Are you following me? Bumpers of some kind, description. They all have engines and transmissions, drive lines. They all have fluids and filters. Are you following me? Yeah, the basic fundamentals don't change. And all those things I just mentioned, the majority of them, are manageable to service. They need to have service. Doesn't matter if it's a 1-year-old car or a 10-year-old car. If you're not maintaining it and you're not putting money aside to maintain it, who's going to maintain it? All right, enough said on that. Don't get me started. I haven't had enough coffee yet. All right, I got some fuel tips for you if we can get to that at some point. But today, ethanol fuel. What's it really doing to your engine? Okay, first you have to understand why ethanol was created. Okay, There is a backstory, and I don't get into religion or politics. Don't even ask me, because if we're not in a private room where we can talk privately, not a chance. Not a living chance will you get me talking about those things. We talk about places and things, not people. That will keep you safe. Absolutely. All the time. Talk about things and places, not people. Ethanol was created to help the corn farmers, the cash croppers. It has nothing to do with being an alternative fuel, because it can't. It has nothing to do with saving you money, and I'm going to prove it. It has everything to do with creating a revenue stream for the farmers, and you know what? They've needed it. They have taken an absolute beating. I understand farming because I grew up with farming, and I totally understand it. Laying 150,000 laying hens, beef cattle to feed, the meadow ladies to milk twice a day, calf barn to take care of the calves. Lots of stuff going on, lots of mucking out and whatnot and doing it, and I loved every minute of it. But it's hard work, and when somebody messes with the feng shui of things, things go off kilter. The cart goes in the ditch, if you know what I mean. So that's how, it was brought about that ethanol fuel was created through corn. Ethanol fuel can be created from anything organic that rots. What does that remind you of? Moonshine. That's how they made moonshine. You could take a 2x4 or a rotten log in the forest, and it'll ferment and create moonshine because it's organic and it breaks down and it's acidic and it creates moonshine. So, and corn is one of those things. They make a mash out of it. They create ethanol. Okay, two huge chemical issues with this. And you know what? You're welcome to fact check me anytime. Because you know what? I'm not about getting ratings. I've been on the radio 31 years. I don't need a whack, whack, whack on my back. I'm not a big shot. I'm just a little shot that just keeps shooting. I'm not looking to be the big toad in the puddle. I don't need all the toys in my garage. I just need enough to get by. Good enough. I got a pie. All I need is a sliver. The rest can go to someone else. So ethanol fuel is created by mash. Mash from corn. So that became a profit center for the farmers. But here's where the consumer gets taken advantage of. I would say other words if we were in a room quietly, but, I'm not going to go there. I'm trying to be very, very good about that because it gets me riled up. I don't like seeing anyone being taken advantage of. No one. Period. Not on my watch. I'll die on that hill first. Ethanol does not belong in gasoline. It does not. It does not. But the circle of profitability has been created. And now it's a problem. Ethanol is acidic. That's mean it's acidity. It's like citric. Anything that's citric has an acid. Well, ethanol is just like that. It's very acidic. So I'm going to explain the composition first, and then I'll give you a list of things we have been seeing for a number of years now, well over 10 years, since it came in to be in the ground with the fuel. Problems have been arising. And you know what? No one talks about it. That's what I find is very interesting. The media is... I wonder if they're just told to shut up. Did I say that out loud? I guess I did. Yeah. They're very vocal about other stuff, but you know what? It's like the Trojan horse. Things just get not talked about, and then your ears kind of close out to it. Ethanol is absolute, and I'm going to say it's absolute rubbish. Rubbish. And it takes money out of the consumer's pocket. We'll get there. Stay with me. I'm trying not to get riled up. Think I better have another swiggy. Because as service techs, we've been all over this for quite a while. And we were squawking about it for quite a while. And some of my good tech buddies, we still squawk about it because we see stuff going on and nobody says anything. Not a stinking thing. Zero. But it's costing the consumer money. All right. So not only is it acidic, it's hydroscopic, like brake fluid. You do not leave the cap off a bottle of brake fluid for more than pour out what you need and go and refill the master when we're doing brakes and bleeding brakes. You do not leave the can of brake fluid wide open to the air, just like lacquer thinners. Put some on a cloth, close the lid if you want to keep it, because it will evaporate very, very quickly. Ethanol evaporates very, very quickly. However, hydroscopic means it attracts moisture. We don't want moisture in the fuel system. Hello? That is a no-no. Creates what? Corrosion. Rust builds up. So if you have a vehicle with a metal fuel tank, that's what the ethanol does. It rusts the tank from the inside out. If you were to drop the tank, open the hole where the fuel pump and the fuel tank sending unit is, you will see rust spots inside the tank. That's from the acids in the ethanol fuel and the fact that it attracts moisture. Yeah, that's what it does. It's hydroscopic. So those are two extremely bad things in automotive when we're dealing with high-tech engines, fuel injectors, fuel delivery systems, the whole 9 yards. Not a good idea to have something in the fuel tank that attracts moisture, to have something in the fuel tank that's acidic. Not a good idea. So the acid in the ethanol, anything that's rubber, has a rubber compound to it in the fuel system delivery, it begins to rot it out. It decays it. And if you have a car that has a black plastic fuel tank, if you watch the video that I put up on YouTube in the very first 50 videos that we did, I dumped out the contents of a fuel filter that was on one of my own cars, and I make sure I change the fuel filter minimum once a year, regardless of mileage, because it's a fuel purifier. And guess what happens? You get some of this ethanol-based laced fuel, that's etching the plastic fuel tank, which is black. So what's inside the filter, which is not just a filter, it's not a wimpy paper filter like, the muscle cars of years before. No, it's a purifier. It's a series of screens that are together that purify the fuel and remove particles as small as 0.00001 of micron. That is super small. It's silt, basically. So the ethanol starts dissolving the black plastic fuel tanks from the inside. And so where does that material go? Into the fuel filter. That's where it goes. That's why when we're dumping out fuel filters that are partially plugged, and it's not a monitored system, so I want to remind you that. Fuel filter, fuel delivery is not a monitored system for getting the fuel from the tank to the injectors. So if the pump goes bad, the money light doesn't come on. The service light doesn't come on. The fuel filter is getting restricted. The service engine light does not come on. Money light, service light, check engine light, all the same darn thing, okay? So the ethanol's eating away the plastic tank. And I have a few vehicles, European vehicles that we use for car shows, especially Volkswagen. They're plastic tanks. And that's what happens to them. We're finding and have been finding that issue for a long time now, since ethanol came out on the market. And I could talk politics about it, but I will not. I'll leave that to you guys to do your homework on that stuff. It is very political. period. So why would we want a product like that in our vehicles that's etching and eating the plastic fuel tank, stuffing that debris into the fuel filter, causing fuel filter restrictions? And then when we change the filter, the fuel companies are saying that the fuel is spotless. It is clean as a whip. No, it's not. It's dirty on its own. It was dirty before the ethanol came out because those filters purify the fuel. So it takes everything out. So we have ethanol that is acidic. It's hydroscopic. It attracts water. So now we have fuel rails that hold the fuel injectors. So if you have a 4-cylinder engine, there's a great chance it's made of composite. Fancy term for plastic, okay? We got this, us technicians, we got this figured out a long time ago. Composite plastic. That's what it is. Here's what was discovered. It started in Corollas quite a while back when the ethanol started coming. Fuel leaks from the fuel rails housing the fuel injectors because they're made of plastic, composite plastic. The ethanol is so corrosive that it was eating the plastic fuel rails to the point they started leaking. But it's not just Corolla. There is a lot of manufacturers out there where we're seeing that. Leaks, fuel leaks. The ethanol's eating the plastic. It's eroding it, just like the black plastic fuel tanks. It's eroding the fuel tank from the inside. It's etching it. So the same thing happens. It's etching the inside of the fuel rail, making it thin to the point where, the fuel pressure will find the leak at 60 psi fuel pressure on average. Yeah, it'll find the weak spot for sure. Absolutely it will. It also causes corrosion in the fuel injection. Because why? We've got two things going on. Water, it attracts moisture right out of the air and right out of the fuel tank. So if you're one of these people that only runs your tank half full, there's air in there. So, and ethanol. Air is what? Oxygen, molecules, and water. Got it? Yeah, we don't have to be, a rocket scientist to figure out those are the two recipes, ingredients to create what? Rust, moisture, and water. Yeah, all we have to have is moist air. So when your fuel tank is only half full, what's the other half? Moisture. That's exactly what it is. And I dug out some information, which I got way back. And it was from a gentleman that works at Kinder Morgan Pipeline in San Jose, California. And his line of work is petroleum. And that's where I got this information actually from my accountant at the time. One of the most important tips to fill your gas tank, fill up when your gas tank's half full. This is from a petroleum tech. You ready? The reason for this is the more gas you have in your tank, the less air occupying its empty space. Gasoline evaporates faster than you can imagine. Gasoline storage tanks have an internal floating roof that serves as a zero clearance between the gas and the atmosphere. That's the tanks at the fuel filling centers, your gas stations in the ground. I didn't know that. Yeah, I did not know that. So the gasoline storage tanks have an internal floating roof, and this roof serves as a zero clearance between the gas and the atmosphere. So it minimizes the evaporation. And unlike service stations here where he works, every truck that we load is temperature compensated so that every gallon is actually the exact amount. So what he's saying is that airspace is what creates a problem because it is attracting moisture. And then if you've got 10 to 15% ethanol in the fuel, it's attracting moisture. We don't want moisture in the fuel tank and in the fuel period. And the fuel filter, even though it filters down to 0.00001 microns of silt, it can't take out water. So that acidic water is going to make its way to the fuel injectors. The fuel injectors are going to deliver that nice fuel into the cylinders, and it causes corrosion. So here's where thus and so, as my professor would say, thus and so, we've created problems. Oh, but it gets better. It gets better. And I'm going to wrap up with this so it gives you food for thought. Yeah, absolutely. Car Connection brought to you by Niagara Block at 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls. Building Canada since 1931. Building supplies, hardscape, landscaping materials to help you create that backyard space that you've always wanted and build your own personal oasis where you can hang out. Connect with them today at 905-356-2221. Grimo family will provide you with amazing service and direction so that you can connect with landscapers they know that do a great job and help you to get that building project and that landscaping project taken care of in a timely fashion. So I would suggest get on their radar because, once we hit February, then I'm looking forward to March. Yeah, it's like, this is getting old now. And did anybody figure out the name of the Michelin Man? Yeah, maybe. I haven't seen any emails or anything, so you can always email me through carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. You can leave me a comment on any video on our YouTube channel. All the links are there on the homepage of our website at ccbusnet.com. That's the short version. I always put that in the description. All the links in the top right-hand corner on our homepage for our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensville on the web.ca. Click on the business tab there to find our business profile. And our iHeart icon is there as well. So you go right to our library and our merch store, which proceeds go to Total Freedom Dairy Center, New York. Campus open to Canadian and U.S. residents that are struggling with addiction. I was just reading another story this morning about that and how hard that is. It's difficult to watch somebody go through it. I did that. I watched somebody I cared about deeply. And you know what? They don't mean what they say, and their behaviors and everything. It's the addiction speaking for them, but it's a big problem. And there's also another campus, Total Freedom Sydney, Manitoba, Canada. That is managed by and directors Rick and Robin, their husband and wife team, and they have a story to tell about addiction, both of them. So that is a men-only campus. So I say all that to say when you grab some merch, some Motormouth merch, make sure you get a limited edition Car Connection coffee mug, first one in over 31 years being on radio, and you can get one. Proceeds go to Total Freedom Dairy Center, New York, and Total Freedom Sydney, Manitoba. So anyways, let's jump right back in. Giving you a little break so you can kind of breathe because it starts to feel, I know what it's like, it starts to feel like you're sucking on a fire hose. Like yesterday when my printer went down. I don't know a whole lot of nothing about nothing when it comes to printers. I do now. Yes, I do. I know how to reprogram it and clear out the purge thingy-dooey so that it'll let me print. Yeah. I gave it a what for and how to. It's all good now. So what have we learned so far about ethanol? It's bad. It is not a good element. But here's where it gets worse for the consumer. Here's where we become consumers. We need to be educated consumers. Yeah. We need to be super consumers, not consumers. The BTUs that are created by ethanol are weak. They're about 50% less. And I was looking I had a document that was sent to me by the engineers that tested ethanol, and I have not found it because we moved the office in the studio a couple times, and here's where we are, and there are a few things that are still not unpacked. So when I find it, I will read it right off that that article. It was a newspaper article that came out following a letter that I received because I was asking about ethanol and what are the actual tests. Now, this is before you could Google stuff and get documents and whatnot, so I can probably do that and pull it up. Ethanol does not create the same BTUs as gasoline. So here's the test. And it's been done many times. I've done it myself, and the proof is in the pudding. Yeah, we're being conned with ethanol. Big time. So if you took 1 gallon of gasoline, just pick your flavor, doesn't matter, and a gallon of ethanol, that gasoline will take you 1.5 times further than that 1 gallon of ethanol. Did you follow that? Did you do the math already? What? You should have been going, what? Yeah, okay. So if you fill your fuel tank with gasoline with no ethanol in it, straight up, hardcore, caffeinated coffee, not decaf. I did not say decaf. That's a bad word in the shop. Do not do that. Do not come in with decaffeinated coffee and identify it. Yeah, you'll have a challenge. Okay, just don't. Just saying. Okay, so we want gasoline that is all gasoline. Fill the tank. See how far you drive on that tank. Now fill up the tank with 10 to 15% ethanol and see how far you go. You will go half. This is what the engineers said, and it's true. You will go half the mileage that you went on that all gasoline filled tank. So what does that mean for the consumer? You have to buy more fuel to go the same distance you could go on gasoline with no ethanol in it. So are you spending less on fuel consumption or more? This is the big magic formula. This is the aha moment, the Rubicon. Consumers, we have to buy more ethanol-based fuel to go the same mileage we used to go on just straight up gas. Is that an environmentally friendly decision to make? Yeah, I did that blank spot on purpose so you could think about it. Yeah, don't go off the road this morning or anything. Yeah. Super scam. That's a super scam. So not only is ethanol acidic, causing fuel-related issues on our automobiles, costing us money out of our own pocket, not only is it causing fuel issues where, it's rusting the fuel tanks on the inside, the metal ones, and it's etching the plastic tanks from the inside and stuffing the debris into the fuel filter. Is that costing you less money on service or more on service? It's a created problem. Fuel injectors, don't like it. All your lawn and garden equipment, you had better be treating it to knock out the ethanol because it kills small engine stuff. All of it. Chainsaws, weed whackers, snow blowers, lawnmowers, anything you have around the home. Edgers, anything that takes gasoline, the small engines, it absolutely destroys them. Ask any small engine tech. And I really appreciate them because that's a lot of tinkering, man. You got to go for therapy after that. But anyways, I do a lot of small engine stuff. Have for a long time because I always have, my lawn and garden stuff going, and we cut a lot of firewood to heat our home and whatnot. So small engines around. I make sure there is one service center close to where I live in heart of Crystal Beach. Anybody remember the Crystal Beach amusement park? Yeah. Okay. Right. If you headed towards where the amusement park used to be. Oh, I like the comment. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We won't talk about that. It did kill people. It sure did. But man, I loved roller coasters. That one was a clackety clack. Anyways, that's where there's one fuel fill center there that has a sign out every summer we have non-ethanol based fuel. That's what you want to put in your boats too, guys. Your boats, your jet skis, your snowmobiles, you got to stay away from the ethanol. But if you can't, I'll put in the description a product that I buy that is one of the best. It's called a fuel fixer. And I keep it and I put it in the tank. But I do have a supply for non-ethanol premium fuel. Non-ethanol premium fuel. Yeah. And let me tell you, that's like having a gold bar in your back pocket because that stuff's nasty. So fuel fixer, I will put the product in the description of this podcast. I absolutely will because it'll help you and it neutralizes the acids and everything of ethanol, but you've got to use it on it's not a one-time thing. When you fill up, you got to put a couple ounces in. If you've got gasoline sitting around the home for your snowblower and anything else, you need to treat the fuel. And I have it written right on all the fuel tanks, all the jerry cans, in black Sharpie, treated fuel only. The product's called Highway 95 Ethanol Fuel Fixer. And I do have a part number for you. It's from Castle Products. And I have my good friend on there. He is a Castle distributor. And you can give him a call. He's on our website. Just click on the link. And he'll be happy to let you know where you can get that product in your area. And I'll tell you, it is worth every stinking penny. Because the acids, the corrosion, the damage to the fuel system, the damage to the plastic fuel tanks. And here's the kicker. If I wasn't talking about it, have you heard anybody else talking about it? Anybody at all? No. It's Highway 95 specially developed to cure problems associated with water contamination in today's ethanol fuel blends. Castle Highway 95 completely reverses fuel separation, cleans the injectors and other critical fuel system components, and acts as a stabilizer. That's the only product I use. They have a ton of products, and my good friend CJ, he's been a distributor. He's the only distributor in Canada, I believe, for almost 30 years. But his information is on our website. You can click on the logo and connect with them, and you can find out who is in your area where you can get that product. Highway 95. It's a little pricey, but let me tell you, so is everything that the ethanol is destroying on your car, because eventually it will rear its ugly head. And as I said, with the small engine stuff, boats to weed whackers and chainsaws, those small engines do not like ethanol-based fuel whatsoever, period. End of story. Not a question mark. So I wanted to share that with you today because that is so critical to know that you know what's going on out there. That's why yesterday in the program, when I got off the air, I was thinking, you know what? You really, you guys out there, guys and gals, fellas and fellettes, guys and dolls, whatever you want to say. I care about you guys. And I want to do everything I possibly can to help you save money fixing your vehicles and not spending money unwisely, and how you could have avoided that some of the expenditures, and save you any dollar I can possibly save you to put back in your own wallet. And if that's exciting for you, then our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, and this podcast, Motormouth Morning Drive, is where you need to be on a regular basis and take in the information. I'm not about filling my own pockets. As I said before, I don't need to be the big toad in the puddle. Don't want to be. I'm not a big shot. I'm just a little shot that keeps shooting. I have over 4 decades working on light truck passenger vehicles all the way up to Peterbilts, Mack trucks, equipment, anything diesel, motor coaches, buses, all of it. And even shell shucking machines and stumpers. Yeah. So I've got a lot of experience. I've seen a lot of things going on, and I can help you to stuff more money back in your wallet and drive an older automobile and smile every time. It doesn't mean you're not going to have to do maintenance on it. Doesn't mean you're not going to have to throw some parts at it sometime. But tell me and show me a vehicle that doesn't have to have that. Yeah, I'll be first in line to buy it. Absolutely. Everything that's man-made on this planet needs some form of maintenance, or it's just destined to fall apart, period. So this ethanol thing was nothing but a political move, period. And that's as far as I will go on that, because I do not discuss politics and religion. They have their place. They have their place, and it's not here. I'm here to help you, but you have to understand how evil that ethanol fuel is. So it's taking money out of your pocket because it's not giving you the fuel mileage that it should. Nobody talks about that. None of the environmentalists talk about that. Nobody. Zip. Yeah. Zip. That's it. You can't say that. Don't say that. Don't let them know. But that's the real deal. And I will find that article and make it available. I know I have it. I just can't remember where I put it. The last time I used it was on ESPN on our afternoon program we had there for 12 and a half years. And I'll find it because it was from the engineers and the chemical engineers. And they break it down and they tell you exactly what they think about ethanol when it comes to automotive. So till tomorrow morning, thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting our faith-based nonprofit organizations that we care deeply about. Crystal Ridge Dream Center, serving men, women, children, meals, love, and hope, changing lives one at a time in the Niagara region. They are doing a bang-up job. And they have a single moms program, and not a dime is asked for from those who attend. Not one. They feed out the door every Tuesday, Friday, well over 200 meals now. Into Total Freedom Darien Center, New York, Addiction Campus that's open and available to Canadian U.S. residents, and Total Freedom, and that's for men and women there, all age groups, and Total Freedom Sydney, Manitoba, Canada, a men-only campus, and a new life waits for those who are struggling with addiction. They don't need to do that anymore. You make that decision. Today's the day. You'll eat lima beans 365 days of the year to get past that addiction. If that's what it takes, you're willing to do it, you're ready to do it, then guess what? That's where you need to go. So the proceeds from our merchandise go to help nonprofit faith-based organizations like Total Freedom, Darien Center, New York, and Sydney, Manitoba. So keep it under 100 out there. Keep an eye on the traffic. Have yourself a fabulous Tuesday, and we'll see you right back here Wednesday morning for another Motormouth 8 a.m. drive time. So happy, healthy motoring, and put that coffee on because we're going to come to your house.